Hey everyone, happy Monday. Just wanted to share some updates to the bids feature of Ressio leading into the International Builder Show this week. I believe this is going to be update set 1 of 2 for bids, so expect another video soon. First and foremost, you'll notice that as I've put this bid together, right away, you're going to see this new button here that says Refresh Preview from Estimate. What that's going to do is actually update the cost item section here with the most up-to-date information from the estimate itself. Really helpful for our draft bids. That way we can see up-to-date estimate information, make any changes there, and pull it right over here. What I'm going to do now is I have added a couple of vendors onto this. I'm going to delete some instructions here and quickly save, and then I'm going to release this out to my subcontractors. These are fake subs, so I'm not going to notify them. And you'll notice here that the Select Vendors button does not disappear like it used to. We now have the ability to add or remove vendors to a bid after it has been released. So for example, if I wanted to add a new vendor on here and I can put in some new instructions and it says +1 vendor will be added, and maybe I wanted to remove a vendor here as well, I don't need to unrelease and re-release the bid to do so. All I need to do here is hit save. I can re-notify these individuals. If I remove a vendor, their submission will be canceled and the new vendor is added on, and it doesn't re-notify everybody. It just notifies the new vendor who's been added to the bid request, because it simply says notify new vendors via email. But I can send that out here. You'll see Jackson Painting and Drywall has been canceled. Crowley Brothers Painting and Chris the vendor have been added in. Crowley Brothers Painting was already on there before and is still left as pending. So we have the ability to add and remove vendors as necessary. The other thing we can do here, and I'm going to set this scenario up by simply submitting a quick bid on behalf of one of my subcontractors. So I'm going to save and submit this real quick here, just like I was submitting some information for one of my subcontractors. And I'm going to go back to the main page here. We now have, when we unrelease a bid request, if we need to make changes to the scope of work information or make modifications, I now have the ability to unrelease, and there's some new text that will show up here. So if you unrelease a bid that has already been sent out, if information has been submitted or declined, a new pending submission will be created for those specific vendors, but the originals will be preserved, essentially resetting the bidding process. But if the vendor has not submitted anything yet and it's still pending, we will simply just update the new changes into that existing bid request so that they don't have to resubmit or find another link. So what I can do here is I can unrelease. You'll specifically see that we can now come in and make changes here. I can add in new instructions. I can make changes from the estimate page and refresh the preview here. So if I go back to my estimate, for example, let's change wall coverings from $10,000 to $12,000. And change the scope of work to new scope and simply go back to my approvals and to bid request number 2. You'll see that that information has updated here automatically. I can always click the preview refresh to make sure that that's live and up to date. I can change the bid request name here again, or maybe it's, if I want to. And then I can simply hit save and send this back out again. And this is going to send out a new round of bids. And I'll notice that I have the canceled bid, the new pending bids, and under this little toggle down tray here, my past bid submissions. So if I want to add that additional information in, or if I want to use that information still, because it doesn't completely delete it, I can still use this information. I could come in and take that past bid submission and still approve this just like I normally would. So it saves the past information here in a little dropdown. It allows the vendors to submit bids again if the scope of work has drastically changed. And from here, we have that full bids process. So some really cool changes to the bid system here to make it that much more flexible, and expect some additional changes coming soon. Let us know if you have any questions. Please feel free to reach out to our support team or your coach. Thanks so much.